in with me on this beautiful, beautiful day. I am always hyped, always ready to just drop a few gems if you're willing to tune in. Yeah, I just dropped a couple bars there. It rhymed a little bit. Hey, but sometimes that's just how the things go. I don't try. It just be like that sometimes. However it flows, however the word comes out, however it best fits you, I hope it gets to you the way you need it to be. Because I don't show no type of guile, or I don't care how it comes out as long as the message comes across and you can understand it. You feel me? So if you guys are first time tuning in, my name is Arnold Lewis. I help athletes prepare mentally for a life of overseas basketball. And this is one of those segments because I believe this will help a lot of athletes who are looking to be in the game one day understand what this game is truly about. As someone that's been playing the game for over 12 years, 12 seasons starting, prime and cooking right now. I'm in year 12, feeling great, feeling immaculate, I'm feeling in my own zone right now. I'm feeling like things is doing great for me. I feel like life is headed in the right direction. I'm super blessed, super grateful for where I'm at. As far as the basketball part, I'm in a great situation. But as far as mindset, I believe the years have caught up with me and the mindset is forming. It's forming into a state to where I finally see past the matrix. Get a little mystical on y'all for a little bit. I can see past the matrix. I want y'all to be woke. I want y'all to understand what's really going on in these overseas basketball streets. Because you've been ran amok. You've been lied to, hoodwinked, swindled, beguiled, all the above. You've been fed a dream and a life that you think is something of immaculate status, but in actuality, it really can set you up for failure. It can really set you up for failure if you don't properly prepare yourself. And proper preparation prevents poor performance. Not strictly on the basketball court, but in life in general. And that's what this whole segment is. I always just got to speak what's on my mind first before I even get into any episode. I got to speak what's on my mind first. And the whole reason I even thought about this whole segment of really is about things, 5 jobs, or not even 5 jobs. I'm going to be going over some jobs that basketball players or people who are in the pro life can actually look towards starting or pursuing that will probably pay you more money than you ever will playing this professional life. And that's the whole concept of this topic today. It's really to give you some gems of things you should need to start working on now or when you start your career to get started early so you don't fall into the trap. What do I mean by the trap? I mean by the trap of living by the standards of what we see on TV or social media or what people think the life is. The overseas basketball life is a career, it's a job, it's a way to put food on your table. It comes with its plus and it comes with its negatives. But if you know how to manage that correctly, you can get the most out of it. And I always say this, I wish some old head, unk, whatever you call big bro, I like to be called big bro personally because I am a big bro. I'm the oldest of eight siblings altogether. So technically I am big bro. So I'm just giving my big brother advice to all the guys that are starting their careers, in the middle of their careers, or just need some type of direction in their career of what I wish I would have done earlier. What you can start pursuing before or during your career that will set you up after your career. Because as we all know, like you're not going to play the game professionally forever. I don't even know what the average life expectancy for an average basketball player is. Not 10 years. You're blessed to have been played for 10 years, to make it a decade. That's a blessing in itself. Some guys just say, man, I just want to do 10 years professionally. And they're like, I'm good. To make it 10 years in this game, you've had to go through a lot of ups and downs. And I felt like for me, my real career didn't start. I wouldn't say it didn't start. I believe I started really getting the most out of my career in professional basketball is when I started applying what I will be doing after basketball ends. That's when it really kicked in for me. That's when the understanding of what I'm doing all this for really started making sense. Really started making sense because there's probably, I could really believe in my career, maybe one or two guys that actually had some type of substantial money in actual business after the game was already done. And that was because they had access to people, because they had a lot more, they made a lot more earnings in their life, in their careers. Probably one of my old heads that I started when I was a rookie, or not a rookie, when I was about 2 years, 3 years in, 2 years in, he had was talking about how he had stocks and bonds and stuff like that. Actually, he didn't say he had stocks and bonds. I linked up with one of my teammates and he heard him arguing with another player on the court, and they were getting into it, and he started saying like, you ain't got no money, you don't mess, you can't, you're not on my level, I got stocks and bonds, you ain't making. So that's how I knew he got stocks and bonds. How did that be relevant to me? It didn't really make no relevance to me because I didn't have any idea what stocks or bonds or any of all that, none of that meant at all. It was an unknown language to me, and it didn't really matter to me because it never really paid. It didn't do anything to me because I just wasn't in that life. I wasn't paying attention to that. All I was doing was focusing on the basketball part. I was just focusing on the basketball part. And the basketball part of it was I was just trying to get better. I was trying to get better jobs. I don't know if y'all can hear them cleaning right now. I don't understand. Like, I'm not even gonna go into that. But the fact is, I didn't really pay attention to finances. I know I wanted to start getting into real estate because my father was in the real estate. My mother was in a real estate agent at the time. But I knew I wanted to start transitioning into that aspect, but I didn't really do any research. And you can't really say you want to do something unless you do the proper research for it. If you're not actually going and getting a mentor, reading books, studying, chat GPT in it, buying a course, actually putting money into something that you do, because you got to think about it. Your life as a basketball player, you had to put a lot of money into it. You put a lot of time and investment into it. You watch movies, you watch videos, you watch YouTube videos, you did AAU, you put a lot of time, money, effort into even getting to the place where you're able to reap any benefits from it. And sometimes that's not even for a long time because some guys' careers are not long. I don't, as I said before, I don't believe that every player has an average expectancy of over 10 years in this game. I know a lot of guys that came and went that didn't last 10 years, but we're going to use 10 years as just like a staple. You want to at least, if you want to, I always have a saying, say, you have to survive long enough to actually get something out of the game. First couple of years, I understand you're trying to just find your niche. You're trying to level up. You're trying to find out where your core area of where you're playing that can help. Like you find your niche on the court. You find a good team. You find a good organization. You find a good league that is willing to bring you back 2 or 3 times, and you know you can get some decent money. You want to get some decent money out of that. You want to, like for me, I started off in Colombia. I played 3 seasons there. I thought I was going to stay there for a while. I didn't. I ended up going to Chile, and I'm playing there 7 seasons. I know no matter what, no matter what, I can always go back to Chile, and I know I'll never and make more than $6,000 to $7,000 a month. minimum. I know that for if I wanted to go the rest of my career, I know I can get paid no less than 6,500 to 7,000, no less than $7,000 a month per season. I know if I'm 35 right now, about to be 36. If I wanted to place it on 40, so the next 4.5 years, it's almost the end of the year, 2 months until then. So at least the next 4 years, I know, okay, I can make about six bands. I can make about 7,000 a month playing Chile, 8 months, 9 months out of the season, and I can count that because I built up such a status in that league that I'm locked in there. I'm locked in there. I took care of the basketball part. Laterally, I didn't focus on the other main part, which is okay, you done your due diligence by handling the most important thing. You made the main thing the main thing. But you have to still understand that there is a point in life where the basketball has to stop. You can't, I'm not saying you can't. It's very rare that you're going to play 35 years professional basketball. It's just very, 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 very rare. I think in my career, I think, especially as an import, I'm still speaking primarily as imports because most players, like in South America, a lot of these players, they live here. So, like, their NBA or their top league is where they work here. They live here. They're normally 95% of the time going to get picked up. There's the first league, there's a second division, there's another division here. There's ample different leagues that you can go into and still make some money playing this game while you do other stuff. But even that, for example, here in Uruguay, it's one of my teammates who live here, and he's Uruguayan. He was like, bro, I think this is like one of the most expensive places in the world because it is. It's so super expensive. Even they have a hard time dealing with the expenses and understanding, okay, this is not sustainable. And I always go back to that. It's not sustainable. And especially more so for us athletes who are primarily coming from the States or other countries. When you have to go out the country that's not your country to play, it's more difficult because if you're let go, for instance, like now, like a perfect example, my best friend, he played the season in Chile. He did well. They lost in the finals, so he went far. He went home for a month. He went to Ecuador after that. He played for like 2 months. Won a championship there. It's crazy. He lost the championship, went to another team a month before the playoffs, won the championship there. He's been home for the last 2 months because of the time period of when he got done. It's a weird time. Earlier in the season, guys are looking for it's not really around that cutting time. The cutting time is like teams and organizations are trying to figure out the direction that they're going. They're trying to figure out if these are the imports they want to keep. They're trying to figure out is this a team that they're going to have? So you have these dead periods where players aren't getting signed. And every moment you're not working, you're essentially losing because that's another month of not being paid. That's another month of no salary income because all you're thinking about is staying in shape for the next gig. But he lives in LA. Now he's doing well for himself, but I'm thinking like the average person. I live in Florida, places where it's more expensive. The cost of living and life is just more expensive. So I know for a fact when I went home, I was home for 3 months, and you can literally go for a 7-8 month season, come home for 3 months and run through almost all of the money, over half the money that you made in that time. So if you made, let's just say an average player made 4,000, he played 7 months, 8 months. Let's be generous. 9 months. What's 4 times 9? That's 36. Counting your expenses. Let's be real. Expenses for about 8 months. Okay, I have a breakdown. Average month salary, say you make about 4,000. You play about 8 months, that's 32. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to take out living. Not the living when you're there, but when you get home. Because I have never met a player who's just used just saved all of their money. Just to say you make that and you cut it in half. Just to say life expenses. Maybe you got a car, you got car insurance. Maybe you got to help out with some rent at home. Like just because you're doing it doesn't mean you don't have any expenses. Some guys don't have expenses when they go overseas, and their home expenses don't got a girlfriend, don't got a wife, don't got kids. Normally the guys earlier on in their careers. So this is why there's more catered to the guys really between years 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. You have a bigger head start before you start tacking on all the life things that goes along with that. You know what I mean? So let's just say almost half or 40% of that you're using for life. Well, that just cuts down your average pay to what? What's half of 32? That's about 15. Let's just say about 15,000. You're able to save 15,000 when the season's over. Now you're home for 3 months. You're gonna 3 months in Florida. You probably run through 5, 6, 7 bands, $7,000, $8,000 for 3 months. Because now you have to take care of everything. Now you got to pay for your gas and your food and all this type of stuff and living, whatever your situation is. I don't know. I just go by my situation. I know I'm older. I got a different type of lifestyle. However, you're going to spend 5, 6, 7, 8,000, 10,000. Now you're only around like 5 to 4,000 that you just did all that. And this is what you got left. And that's the reality. And I'm not speaking from what I think. I'm thinking about for what I've done. I'm speaking from a place of 10, 8, 9 years in the game, $100 in my bank account. 5 championships under my belt, $100 in my bank account working at Walmart. I'm only speaking from the stance of where I've been out of experience other than what someone has told me. This is what I know. This is what I lived through. This is what I'm trying to explain. This is why it drives me to inform whoever tunes in what to expect and how to prevent this, because it's very easy to prevent. Even at that rate, if you average 4,000 for your career, you can still build yourself up and have you can build yourself up to $1 million. You can easily when you're done leaving the game with $1 million over 10 years if you invest it properly, if you do the right things with the money. And that's the major key. What you do with the money that you got. I always love to say it's not about how much money that you make, it's what you can keep, grow, and invest. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much you can keep, how much you can grow and invest. Because your money will work harder than you ever can. There is no amount of work that you can do that your money can't outwork you on. So the whole key to this is, okay, I'm working my body and putting myself through all this so the money that I earn can make me 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as much. So I actually got something from the game instead of letting the game take everything from you. Will not even take something from you, but you leave the game with nothing. And around year 9, and it took for me a traumatic experience for me to understand that, which was basically my whole financial structure of life, who was my father, which was my financial rock. If anything ever happened to me, I know my father had it. Well, he passed away mid-season. Now, I still got my mother, and she will forever, she helps me in all aspects. She's been my money manager, or she's been managing my money since I started my career. But that's really only, she would just take the money and hold it for me, and I tell her what to do with it. It's not really managing it as far as investing it, growing it. It was, okay, I got an account, I'm gonna put it here, what you want me to do with it? So I took it upon myself, or life put me in a position that I had to make a choice. Do I want to continue living like this or I better start making some changes, or I'm going to be right back to working in Walmart when I get done playing in a professional career. Now think about the mindset you might have as an athlete that played 12, 10, 10, 12 years, and when you're done, you got to go work at Walmart. How do you, that type of, is just a concept that in your brain you can't even really fathom for real, because it's like, bro, I just spent 10, 12 years of my career playing basketball professionally, and then when I get done, all I can do is just go back to go playing. I gotta go work as a cashier, or what everybody go do, I gotta go work and do and be a coach. Coaches ain't getting paid like that. Top top college coaches, top, of course, there's levels to everything. What level do you think that you're just going to automatically come out of and start making as a coach just because you play pro? That doesn't mean anything. You got to go into the real world, improve yourself all over again, and start from the bottom and build your way up. And if you're doing that, it's a different mindset. It's a different place to be in. If I'm leaving the game and I played for 10, 12, 13 years and I leave the game and say, okay, I'm done. I've I've enjoyed my time. It's time for me to move on with my life. You think about it, if you start, you come out, you're 25, you're done playing when you're 35, 36, you've still got 40 years of your life to live. That basketball money ain't gonna last you that long. You ain't even talking about family, insurance, taxes. We ain't even got to that part yet. It's just the reality of it. So I always encourage, and I scream, not literally, but I always try to make it an emphasis to athletes that, you have to start investing your money early and often. The compound effect. Because the greatest asset that we have is time in this game. When you're playing, it's funny, the older you get, the more time you have, you feel like the less you really have, if that made sense. So the older I got, I started realizing how important time was to me. Every moment that I have, I'm like, dang, am I taking advantage of the time that I have, or am I wasting it right now? Am I wasting time? My constant thought is, don't waste time. And that stemmed from, my father passing, because he passed at 54. And it's amazing challenge to understand how life and how God works, to allow things to happen that course corrects our life in the way that we never seen coming. We never seen it coming in this way, and it changes so much for us. And him passing led me to changing my life, led me to trying to help change other people's lives from making the same mistakes and the errors that I made, or getting people started and giving them the advantage that I didn't have. Nobody's asking me to do it. No one told me to do it. It was a personal calling that I had on my life, that I had screaming from my soul. This is what you're here to do. You're here to inform the next generation of people coming up on how to avoid the things that you went through and how to better their life, not only in this game, but in their actual life. Because what you take from this game, you're going to use for the rest of your life, especially as high performing athletes. Because even if you make it as a pro, you're a high performing athlete. There's no way you're non-performing high and make it 10 years. You have to be a high performing athlete and able to even do that. You're not going to be a mediocre athlete to be able to last 10 years. That's why you have what it takes to get something out the game, because you have the discipline to keep your body, to keep your mind focused long enough on the objective goal, which is to earn a career, earn another job, earn another contract, earn some money. Someone willing, out of the millions of players that's trying to fight for two jobs, you've been able to find your way of earning that. And that don't come without discipline, hard work, dedication, focus. And how you do that, how you do this one thing, or how you approach this, you can use those same skills in any endeavor. In any endeavor. Now, a lot of players look at the big EuroLeague players and they making millions and this. It's like the 1%. What about the 99? The average player, the good, I wouldn't even say average, a great player, averaging his career around $4,000 to $5,000 for a career. That's a great career. Just to let you know, if you average $5,000 a year, when it's all said and done, you had a great career. You had a great career. Don't ever let anybody else tell you, because really that five, say you average 50, it's really like $75,000 a year, because you have to take out living, food, transportation. That's another $2,000 to $3,000 a month that you don't have to cover. So the balance of it, of what you're actually making from the expenses that you're actually saving on, is the actual real number of what you're making. So my whole, I would say, goal is to just, give out a few tips, because I have like two guys on my team right now, and all they do is play basketball, and they're not thinking about they know there is a point in time in life that it's going to be over with, and I preach to them. I guess I do be preaching. I talk to them and tell them, like, the ball is going to stop one day. You have to start setting yourself up for that. Take 1 to 2 hours a day to learn a high performing skill, trade, whatever, that will make you more money than you ever will in basketball. I don't know what my teammates are making. I don't know their average salary. Doesn't matter. I know the way we speak and how we all managing life at the same time. We all understand that it ain't enough. This is not enough. This is not enough. Because situations always happen, life always happens. One of my teammates, he was just saying, man, I saved up some money, then I got home and I had to get all my teeth pulled, and I had to get a replacement and go to the dentist, and I ain't got no insurance. That was a $4,000 or $5,000 bill. So all that money that you made and saved up, boom, gone. Just like that. It's funny how crazy life throws curveballs and expenses you got to pay right when you got it. If you don't find money is so fascinating to understand, like the concept of money as currency, which is current, which is it's moving, it's constantly moving. Money has to constantly, just like that saying, the money burning a hole in your pocket, because it can't sit still. Money refuses to sit still. It will continue to flow it's constantly looking for some place to go. And if you do not assign a place for it to go, it will quickly go somewhere you don't want it to go. That is a fact. It will go everywhere but where you want it to go. Either you're going to spend it on some foolishness, or foolishness going to come that take it from you. But it's currency. It's moving. It's flowing. So why don't you put that flow into the right areas so it can increase for you and it can work for you. And that's what I am basically the message that I'm trying to relay. So, you know, I looked up what are some jobs that athletes can look for while they're playing. 5 high paying skills for players to build while you're playing. These are some skills, or these are just some things that you can be doing while you're playing that can give you the advantage when you're done. That gives you the opportunity and the freedom, and it gives you something to work towards, or something you take from the game. You don't want to, like I said, you don't want to do all this and have to go back and get a regular job. Trust me, as a basketball player, the ego that we have, it's going to kill you. It's going to kill your ego. It's going to kill you inside. You're going to start, spoken from a player that was in that position, the mental battles that I went through, you start to lean towards other self-destructing things because you're not doing the thing that you love, because you start looking like, dang, I did all this, I played all these years and this is all I got from it, and now I got to go back here and I worked on all these years, and I got to go work at, like for me, I had to go work at not McDonald's, I had to go work at Walmart, and I got to do, yes, it's a job, thank God I got something to bring me in some money, but this is what I'm reduced to. That, and I'm just speaking on my mindset. This is what I'm reduced to. This is what it's come to. You find yourself in a very dark place. You find yourself in a very dark place. I found myself in a very dark place. I found myself turning to substances that I shouldn't have been. I found myself addicted to certain substances that was slowly destroying myself because I didn't have anything to anchor myself to don't be in this position. I couldn't choose to do what I wanted to do or had the time to think about what I wanted to do because I had to do what I had to do, which is I have a daughter. I don't got no house. I don't got no place to stay. I got to stay with relatives and stuff. Thank God I got a great family that looked and took me in and helped me in my time with just housing. You know what I mean? And these hit hard and they hit fast. And if you don't prepare ahead for what's to come, you're going to find yourself in a very, very dark place. That's where I found myself. When I speak to other players and they've been through the same situation, that's where they find themselves. Dang, I had to go home. I'm working at FedEx. Man, this is what it came down to. Working at FedEx. All these years playing basketball, I got to go and work at FedEx now. This is who I am. Wow. It's the reality. Let's get into some of these jobs, man. It's so real to me because I've lived it, and like I could feel that time that I was in there. I could feel, I was there, and I made a decision. I'm never going back. I'm never going back. Nothing is going to bring me back to that. I'm not going back. I had to make a mental decision, but I went through it. I was working there for about a year. During the COVID season, I went through it. That's why I can come and speak about it. Not from any other person's perspective, from my own life perspective. I've been through it. It sucked. And I'm just trying to speak on my experience so you don't have to go through it. While I was working there, my mother came to me with she gave me an idea to become a home inspector. And my father was a a contractor building houses. He had got his contracting license, so I ran it by him, and he was like, "Man, this is probably gonna be the best idea you can ever do. Like this is the best decision you can ever make, you know, because the amount of money you can make doing this in your free time when you're done with basketball on your own time, you know, you make far more than you will playing basketball, hands down, hands down. And just to throw some numbers at you, just the average home inspection in Florida, because I'm from Florida, just in general, average home inspection is no less than 500. And just so you know, they're in a short. Ask any realtor, how bad do they need home inspectors? You need a home inspection before you leave, before you buy a house, before you sell a house. Ask how many. Just ask a realtor how often do they use a home. They need a home inspection. It's a job that's in high demand that you never would have even expected. You never would have even expect, like, really? Yeah. So the average house, this is without the add-ons. There's certain other little certificates you can get that a house needs before. I don't even want to get into all the details, but you can run up an average house. You can get $750 per house. That's average. That's an average house. Even if we do the base minimum of 500 a house, you can do more. I know some inspectors who do, if you're taking it easy, let's just say you do 2 houses a day, 4 days out of the week. That's 4,000. Average home inspector doing about 4 a day. 5, 6 days. You set your schedule 5 days a week. Just do 5 days a week. That's 2,000 a day times 5. That's 10,000 a week. A week. Now I know the basketball life sounds amazing, but you ain't making $10,000 a week. Not the average basketball player who's coming from making about $4,000 a month. We're talking about $10,000 a week from a job that I used to study. I had a laptop and I took a little course online that I said, you know what, I'm just for an hour a day, 2 hour, hour and a half, I'm gonna just study and I'm gonna go through this. That's it. If you could be on the 2K for 5, 6 hours, can I take an hour and a half to learn something that can pay me $10,000 a week? I was talking about this to my best friend and I was just going in on, man, this is amazing. Like, I was so set on being this home inspector and I'm just sitting, I'm telling him and just showing him, and he ended up going doing the same thing. Now he doesn't play basketball, but he's my best friend. We talked and he was working at the post office. He took on the career, ended up getting his license. He's working under a company. He's like, bro, the company makes 14. They showed me the stub of the money that they made this week. He gets paid off commission. He made $2,800, $2,500 that week as an intern. They show him because they show him what they bring in to show like the potential of what he can be doing. They brought in 14, 15,000 that week. He's an intern, just learning the ropes, getting paid 2,500 a week. A week. An average house inspection is about an hour. Now you ask yourself, is that something that you think that you can take the time out and spend an hour a day on working on? Now, think about this for a second. If I can find a good niche where I'm playing, and I got 7 years left to play, on, let's say you did your first 3 years, you found your niche, you found your country, you found that you took care of the basketball part. Now you found a country where you're playing about 9 months 8 months out of the season. You got about 4 months off. You got this for 7 years. So you probably, I'm 3 years in, I'm playing to just 10 years. How far would you be if you took an hour a day for 7 years to master something that you can do? Now he passed it. He passed it. He found an organization, or he found someone. They paid for the school or whatever. He got it in less than a year. Now he done it in less than a year. Matter of fact, he said he went to the test or wherever he went to do it. It was like for a weekend, and it's like he paid probably like $1,000 for the course for the weekend, and it's like they basically guarantee you pass. So the time that you're putting in is not even. You don't need 7 years. Is my point. You could just come home every month, every time you come home from working your basketball career, and go work with whatever company, organization, or find a mentor who can teach you all about how to properly do the home inspection. You got the license that you've already studied for it and you passed, or whatever the situation is. And now you're making, even in the summer, you don't stop. You're making more money in the summer than you probably make. You're averaging. So you did that for 2 years, right? Now you got it. You understand everything. Now you're the one going out and you're making on minimum $2,500 a month. So now you're bringing home $10,000 a month, right? You're bringing home $10,000 a month, 4 months that you're home. That's $40,000. That's more than what you made in the entire season. All because you decided to apply yourself just a little. Just a little. And these are the conversations I needed someone to have with me. This is the conversation that I'm having right now. Now I'm only talking about the one experience that I have in the choice that I took. Now, I'm not currently doing that anymore because I found another one, which is one of the other high-paying skills that you can use because you have the free time to actually learn and to do. One is digital marketing and branding. Why? Because you through your time in basketball, you building your brand. That's what I decided to do. It fit me more. You find out. This is another thing. You have time to find out what you like. You got time to experience and fail and try different things because you have all this time. You might not want to be a home inspector. You might not want to do digital marketing. Digital marketing, you could learn all the things that come with it. Take an hour a day. Learn digital marketing an hour a day for 7 years. You can make between $250K to $1 million a year. $250,000 to $1 million a year by just starting your own digital marketing company. Starting a YouTube channel. Becoming an influencer. You got the time. Real estate. Investing in real estate and development. Give you a perfect example. I just did an episode with Big Deuce yesterday, and we were talking about one of the players who is the perfect example of what I'm talking about, who applied himself, who literally is. I am so grateful I got to meet this guy because he is literally the epitome of what I'm speaking of. He said before we played on the same team, probably like 2 years ago on this team called Asorna when we was in Chile. You can actually go back, Austin Wrighton. Not counting his, how I made a joke. I said, I'm counting his pockets. Big dude's like, I'm not counting his pockets. But however, this is the definition of someone who applied themselves. He said when he go home, he was doing some training. He was training kids for some extra money and things like that. Now, I don't want to put his money out or his business or what he was making because that's not my business to tell. But I can just say this: it was under $1,500 when he was with us. I'm not giving you the exact number, but it was under $1,500. And I'm saying that to say of where you're starting off doesn't have to be what you think is too much or too little to start. I just use an example. I know he won't really mind, but I gave him some advice on stocks because what I do, I have a media company and I also invest in trade. That's what I do in my downtime. I build this brand. I'm building my media business, and I invest in trade. Those are the two. Because after real estate, which I also have real estate, I just recently bought a mobile home park. So out of all of these so far, out of the 5 high-paying skills, I'm doing the 3. Digital marketing and branding. I have a media company. I have a YouTube channel. This is my media company. I'm building a media company as we speak, as I'm talking to you now. I'm literally showing what I'm doing. So I'm not just saying it. I'm actually showing you. Real estate. I just bought a mobile home park. Stocks and options trading or trading. I got an investment portfolio and I trade. That's what I study on my free time. Told him about an investment. He invested in that exact investment. He took that money and now he knows some people that he invests with, that he knows that are in the market or in the real estate. And he's taking the money that he's making from basketball and he puts it and he uses it. He just said yesterday, yeah, I just closed on 2 homes. I'm closing on my 3rd deal in real estate. Now, this is a guy who is under 30, probably been paying 3 or 4 years. Maybe, I don't know what year, Austin, probably 5th or 6th year. Guaranteed to be a millionaire by the time he's done. Guaranteed to be a millionaire by the time he's done. Just strictly off the one piece of advice that I gave him of one company to invest in. And this is a guy who didn't just, shout out to Austin right now. I say that because I gave out that advice and he took it and he ran with it. He didn't even say, he just snuck in. I gave him a company on what to buy. Like, man, this company just did this and man, I need to get some shares. He just came back the next day and said, oh yeah, I put like $10,000 on that. I was mind blown. One, because I didn't have the put to buy it at that time, but he did. And I can guarantee, I'm gonna tell you right now, that investment from the time that he bought it till now has doubled. Now you got to think about that. That was in over a year and something, not including his real estate investment that he took from the basketball that he made. Because after that season, we made it to the championship. After that season, he went to Brazil and played. He's in Paraguay right now. He was in Ecuador getting paid. He just kept playing. So his basketball career shot through the roof. But not only that, the money that he used and invest in what he's investing into his mind, real estate, market, he understood. He took the old head advice, and it's guaranteed to be a millionaire soon because he took the advice that was given to him and applied it. And it's so crazy. It's not even crazy, but it's just the reason I do what I do because a week before he came to the team, he said he was watching my podcast. And lo and behold, we were on the same team. He's like, I've never seen it. I just seen it pop up and he was at home. He was trying to figure out what his next job was going to be. And lo and behold, he watched one of my episodes to try to get some guidance, and we were on the same team. He took everything I did at face. He didn't let his ego of, oh, who are you, da da da. He took information that he heard from someone that's been in the game, who's trying to give out information of what to avoid and what to use to your benefit, because everything that I'm saying is for you to use to your benefit. It ain't for me to sound good. It don't do me nothing. I'm not getting a percentage of your check or what you make. I just want us to eat and realize, don't get caught up in this basketball life of being a pro and think this is what's going to save you. What you apply with the money that you earn and you accumulate, that's what's going to save you. That's what's going to give you some sense of fulfillment, knowing that I got something out of the game of basketball. I get to enjoy the game of basketball because I'm not fighting for another check every time I get home and life hit me. Now I'm not even playing for the joy. I'm playing for survival. How can I be playing for survival, trying to just act like, oh man, if I don't get signed, if I don't get another check, if I get cut, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? How I'm gonna eat? I can't get fired. You're inviting negative energy into your life. You're inviting that into your atmosphere. You're putting that energy out because it's over your head. You're now not playing the game to get the fulfillment out of it and playing the game to grow and increase in yourself. You're doing it in a survival state. I gotta play good. You can't play like that. You have to play good because if you don't, you ain't got no money. You're gonna have to go work at dollar store. It's not what you are or what you will want to be in a position in after when it's all said and done. There's many other careers I can go into. Unfortunately, my phone is about to die, and I'm about to wrap up here. I had a list of so many different jobs that athletes can try from, like I said, real estate, media, options. And these are things that you don't have to take long and study. You just have to take an hour, 2 hours a day, 2 hours a week, 2 hours a week, 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, 30 minutes every 5 days out of the week. You don't even have to kill yourself. Motivational speakers. You already know you're a high performing athlete speaking on, team aspects. You have experience on a professional level, traveling the world, dealing with other people, overcoming adversity, overcoming so many different things, becoming a motivational speaker, inspiring people. These are certain things. I took a course on motivational speaking. 100K to 200K a year easily. 5K in an hour easily. Little things you never even would have thought. They love athletes as speakers. 1,000, 5,000, the average, the lowest speakers on the low end make about 5,000 a month. 5,000, I'm sorry, a speaking gig. Now, if you catch 2 gigs a month, that's $10,000. See what I'm saying? It's one of my old teammates, an insurance adjuster, makes about $40,000-$50,000 a month. Who would have known? You know how much it costs to take the exam? $20. Who would have known? Ben quit basketball a long time ago. Every time I see him, he over in Cabo, he in Jamaica, he at some game, he in the strip club just throwing money, bought him a new Audi 2025. Insurance adjuster. Who would have thought an insurance adjuster, you would be getting paid $40,000 to $50,000 a month? And we were over here worried about making this $2,500 to $3,000 a month as a basketball player. Don't get it twisted. Don't be fooled and thinking, oh, I'm just going to be a basketball player and that's going to save me when it's all said and done. No. Start applying yourself now that you have the greatest gift that you can possibly get, which is time to set your life up after the game is done. That's all I got, man, for this segment. That's all I got for this episode, man. I hope you guys can take the words that I used. I hopefully help you out just to get you thinking in another aspect, just to get you thinking about what's to come and what you can actually do, the money that you could actually really make out here in this world with the time that you got. You know what I'm saying? There is money to be made if you apply yourself. Don't let anybody ever trick you out your spot. Don't get it twisted. Remember, hey, no problem, bro. Remember, greatness is a habit, not a right. That's all I got. Till next time.